Hi there, and welcome to Screech Bomb Commentaries. Today we're bringing you some more of the Keyforge Premier League group stages actions. This is game 3 of the group stages. Do you want to tell us who is competing today, Callum?
Yes, today we've got a game out of Group G, where we have Vince from the Manchester Mavericks versus PMCanessa from TGG, Team GG,
Mm-hmm.
which I learned today stood for Team Good Game, which is named after the store where they play a bunch of Keyforge.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So, start with Canessa's decks. We have first Sigrid the Rain Mage, the Feathered.
I'm going to go for the pronunciation of Sigrid Maga della Pioggia la Piumetta. Probably very wrong.
Probably.
But this
So,
very low SAS for a deck to bring to the KFPL
I
here.
mean, well, yes, but that's because it's some combo nonsense.
It is, but you've got to question whether this may be the lowest SAS deck in the whole competition from
I think I might have seen
Canessa.
lower. I think one of the Heart of the Forest decks might be lower, but I'd have to check. It's
Right.
definitely on the low end.
Yeah,
But you have double Martian Generosity.
dude.
So that's going to be ridiculous. And what are you trying to do with that? The answer to that is in the Brobnar, because the Brobnar gives you Ganganaut, Grunt Buggy, and most significantly, Might Makes Right.
Yes, I had the pleasure of playing against this deck a few days ago, or when PMCanessa was doing some testing. I say pleasure, and what actually happened was he played Martian Generosity a lot. He abducted, I think, 10 of my creatures in a very creature-heavy deck, and Might Makes Righted twice to forge keys. So
Yeah, because on top of the two combos you mentioned so far, the Untamed is triple Glimmer with double World Tree to put those back on the deck. So you just recycle all of your ridiculous combo pieces. You get the
mhm,
MG back again, you get the Might Makes Right back again, and
yeah.
so on.
You've just got a Life Web, which is, especially against like creature heavy decks, is a really good one just to kind of like get that steal off for a bit, kind of, just kind of like knock back your opponent.
Lyric Crease decent as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just like it has a relatively obvious combo plan. And I think with the sort of doubles and the double Martian Generosity, especially in the recursion, can probably do it pretty consistently.
Yeah, it can. I think that the big problem with it is maybe it's the speed is 12, but I think that's a bit disingenuous because I think, yeah, you're looking at 5.2 from both Master Generosity. So if they come late and you don't quite get the draws at the right times, you could struggle with
Yeah.
this deck. You
Yeah.
kind of want a Grunt Buggy out early. You want to be able to kind of take advantage of that if possible.
And the sort of Ember and Creature control is not really what you want it to be. You got some good cards which you could play multiple times, but you're mostly going to be trying to hit the MG combo.
Yeah, if you can pretty easy to get run over by this deck. So
Oh,
moving on to the
uh,
second deck to look
yeah,
at,
which
we
is
have.
I think the reason why the MG combo deck is yet to be banned because this deck is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Gargoyle, and I'll do it this time. Gargoyle, Protetuce, the Gondola Tirata.
Damn, yours is way better than mine. I look like an idiot
Uh,
now.
well, it depends which of us randomly selected the pronunciations correctly. I don't know what it was the hardest off. See, either way, this deck has 29 speed, which is filthy amounts of speed.
Yeah, I think I speak for all of us when I say no.
Yep. So got 10 draw pips. You got a Cronus. You got a Nell with 5 upgrades. You've got Auto Encoder. You've got double Eclectic Inquiry. You've got an enhanced causal loop, which I'm going to look at what it's enhanced with. A damage, which is sad, but
Yeah, we're gonna look at the quickly look at the it uses the just see the bevy of enhancements this deck has here.
yep, which is probably the key to it because you also have an Amphora Captura in the Saurians. And so you have 19 enhancements, 12 extra pips on top of that, for a total of 31 Amphora triggers in 36 cards.
Yeah, it is a lot. I mean, I think the one thing you maybe got to be sad about here, you got the armor off Sinel, you didn't get a transport platform. You're very happy to swap that mutagenesis researcher or that particle suite for one. Which would kind of push this as like the stratosphere, but even without that, like you say,
It's
29
it's
speed.
it's so dumb.
Yeah, so
Like
much archiving from the Cronus.
yeah, and with 15 pips, you're going to generate Ember really quickly. It has 19 expected Ember, but that's definitely underestimating how much you're going to get.
Mm,
So you
yeah.
just sort of generate a lot really quickly, do dumb Amphora stuff, and you probably run away with it. And on top of that, it's a pretty solid deck without even all that, right? You've got good things in it. Like Nero Taurus is always real handy.
It is, yeah. Let me just hover over that. So, Neratorus is a dinosaur politician. Fight. Enemy creatures cannot reap during your opponent's next turn. enemy creatures cannot fight during your opponent's next turn. So really good
Oh,
at just disrupting your opponent's plans.
oh yeah, Nero, like the Emperor, just literally just made this connection.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna pretend I'd made that connection a long time ago. Oh, right, he's lying down on it. I always thought he was just a really weirdly shaped dinosaur, but he's lying on like a couch with like a
Oh
foot.
yeah. I thought it was like a weirdly shaped dinosaur. The art in Keyforge is great, and we don't pay enough attention to it, especially on
Yeah,
TCO.
yeah, I can't quite read the name. I think that's Marco something drew this. Well done, Marco. Proud of you, buddy.
Congratulations, big fan. Yeah, so like a lot of good stuff that's going to go very, very, very fast.
And last but by no means least, we have Jessamine Dentadoro la Dramatica.
Jessamine Goldtooth, the dramatic.
Ah.
So this is just pretty much good all-round Worlds Collide.
Mhm.
Like there's very few cards in this deck that I'm not happy to see, and they all do pretty decent stuff.
Yeah, I have a relatively similar deck to this called Seraphina that I'm assuming has a quite similar strategy in that you want to get your logos early, just kind of like get that archiving, get that draw, kind of deal with some earlier things. Untamed to keep the board under control with your unnatural selections, and also maybe get like some
Mooks.
Ghost Hawk, Harmonia, Flaxia stuff, and then hit like a big Saurian, big Ember turn as well. You've got those exiles with the tributes, you've got the golden spirals, potentially just stack a bunch of Ember on something, flip it to your opponent, kill it with like a Good of the Many or a Sorry about that.
Yes, you've got to be able to think that with the logos efficiency, you're going to be able to hit that tribute exile combo a lot. And the Untamed is pretty good as well. You've got the unnatural selection for good clear with the Mamooks.
Mm-hmm. Also an interesting one, a skull. Skull?
Yep.
Skull?
I
Maverick?
don't. Maybe closer to the last one. I think it's Scandinavian referencing Ragnarok wolf myths.
Yeah, but this is a card you don't see very often because Worst-Type Brobnar is kind of trash. But this is a nice card. Like, Assault 3 is good after enemy creature destroyed by Skull's assault damage. Give any creature a +1 power counter. There's definitely some things you want to give power to. And here, E-Dies, give a bit extra to the Saurians if you're going to be using
Harmonias, Mamooks. Yeah, it's a pretty reasonable deck. It's just all round good.
Yeah, just a final one to point out here is you've got a Mimic Gel, which is a really nice card. Can't be played unless there is another creature in play. Ends play as a copy of another creature in play, except belongs to House Logos. So you're basically either going to copy your own best card or your opponent's best card. Can be really good if your opponent has stuff like Infernuses. Can also, in this case, be good. E-Dies. Titan Guardian is a one that I use a Mimic Gel on quite a lot in a deck I have. Just can be really nice to get an extra taunt there and another way to draw those extra cards too.
E-Die probably a pretty solid bet, I think.
Yeah. I think we could see other way, yeah.
So that's a pretty nasty lineup. What's Vince got to go up against it?
Well, the first one we're going to look at is Sasha Compact Apothecary Delegate. Now, this deck may be familiar to some people who've played the game a long time. This deck is a Grand Championship finalist.
It is indeed. I'm notorious at this point.
Yep, owned by Vince's teammate from the Manchester Mavericks, Matt. And yeah, this deck is kind of one of your prototypical kind of Martian Generosity, Key Abduction, Jenka decks, but also has a bit of Ganganort.
I think it's too good to be prototypical, right? It's unusually good at it because you've got the double Martian Generosity, you've got double Ganganort, and the Grunt Buggy.
But what I mean is, I think this is one of the first decks to really popularize that style. Is the thing. I think this was
maybe it certainly made a name for itself in the UK scene and abroad a little bit.
Yeah, especially in the UK scene. We kind of were playing. I was playing a lot in the UK scene, and you would hear tell of this disgusting Martian Generosity Key Abduction deck that would do insane turns, and we all lived in fear of it.
So it's relatively clear what the Mars does. The Brobnar does Ganganort stuff, and I think even without the MG, does it very well because you have a number of other tricks like Into the Fray, Bingle Bang Bang, Bramo.
Yeah.
Sound the Horns to go get one half of it.
Indeed, yeah. Sound the Horn's a bit of a dangerous one. I've played against this deck a few times, and I've seen it before. Kind of like discard key pieces like the Key Abduction, like the Martian.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck that up.
Got to be a bit careful of that one, but and you also have some shadows as well, which kind of like I think is never really discussed with this deck, but it's still like a solid set of shadows, like Customs Office, great card. Dodgers and Yancey Gangs are really handy for this, like little like chips of Ember control.
Yeah, sort of Throwing Stars, Lethal Distraction, Nerve Blast. You can really set up some good Throwing Stars hits.
Rig Lottery against an opponent who's not playing Shadows. So for each player discards the top 5 cards of the deck. For each Shadows card discarded, it only gains one. Little bit of a risk, but kind of if you get this later game when you're just looking to cycle your deck, you've maybe already played the Generosities you've got in your archive with the Proliferator. This can just be a really good way of just kind of giving you like a stack of Ember.
Yeah, and 3 more 5-power creatures for the Grunt Buggy as well. The 2 Yancy Gangs and the Legacy Dodger.
Indeed.
So this has been banned twice, and I think will likely be banned again.
Its reputation
ridiculous.
precedes it, indeed.
It does. So what else has he got going on?
We have a Zobliva Abra Zigori.
The Peculiar Abra from Gora.
Mm-hmm.
So this just looks very difficult to play against, and it just will not let you forge a key.
No, I mean it's a deck kind of deck that I'm quite a fan of when you've got like that big Ember control in all 3 houses. I mean bait and switch less so nowadays, but still with the Nerve Blast, Relentless Whispers, the Moon Curse, you've got a lot of ways of knocking your opponent off check.
Yeah, all 3 houses have multiple ways of taking you off 6. And you basically looking to get into a kind of a cycle. So you keep them off 6 for a while with all sorts of things like Terms of Redress, Nerve Blast, Shula, Moon Cursor possibly, to the point where they go higher, and then you can get into this Drumble Arise cycle, where you keep reducing them to 0 Ember, and they just can't do anything. And then if they do eventually go really, really high, and you can't get a Drumble down, you've got 2 Doorsteps to Heaven, just to kill all of that Ember.
Yeah, you've got to imagine as well. This deck would have been even better in the pre-bait and switch nerf days too.
Yeah,
but maybe problem with this deck is -1 speed. This deck has no way to draw anything.
Yeah.
You are playing the hands as you're dealt them. So if you're getting stuff like your Doorsteps, your Drumbles, things like that early, could be pretty problematic. I'd say that's a bit of a risk, but I guess you kind of have to manage that. Like work out how much is it worth to chain yourself holding something like that to keep it, or do you just kind of go, you know what, I need to get through my deck and get to my pips, which it does have a lot of. It's 17.
17 is a whole bunch. I do want to flag up one trick you pointed out to me earlier, which is the combination of Charge, Drumble, and Doorstep to Heaven.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a real good one where you can destroy that Drumble on a Sanctum turn, use the Doorstep to Heaven to then knock your opponent down to 5. Really good way of just kind of like, firstly, like just kind of getting them thing, but it also puts your opponent, if you've got that Arise in hand, in the situation of them going, well, he's probably got an Arise. If I go above 7 again, then he's probably just going to play that Drumble again, and you just kind of like keep you in that cycle that we've just discussed.
Yep, absolutely. So that's going to be ridiculous. The final deck we have is an MM. And it's interestingly that Vince is the only player in the league who does not have at least one Worlds Collide deck.
Oh, really?
The only one out of 56.
God, that's interesting.
It is, and we've seen with Sasha and Abra, and I think the Lord of Hyperberg here, why that's the case, because this deck's pretty good.
Yeah, these are. I mean, we've seen Vince play this a lot. This is Vince's deck. We've seen him play it at various kind of like UK events. We've played against it a number of times. I've even played it once in an adaptive, and it is a difficult deck to play.
Yeah, but he knows it inside and out. He qualified with it in the Archon qualifier to get here.
Yeah.
And it's just good all-round Keyforge. So you've got lots of Ember control, and you've got a big city state with 20 creatures, double Infernus, a Shrix, Citizen Shrix, and a lot of Saurian things that move Ember around or get rid of it. So Humble, Ludos, and Faust too for the key cost.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing that Vince likes to do with this deck is you've also got the sins here, and in particular Gluttony. I think is a key card in this deck where often you will set up situations where you're like, I have both 2 Ludos and a Gluttony down. You probably need to destroy Gluttony, because if I reap with it, I'm going to put a lot of Ember into my pool, but you can't use a board clear or you'll just lose all your Ember. And he's really good at really putting your opponent between a rock and a hard place, especially with like a city state interest with 20 creatures. A lot of scope to pull off really big ones of those.
Yeah. You've got good efficiency, just like Logos does usual standard Logos things, plus Greed in the Sins, which can potentially give you some big hands.
Yeah, definitely can do.
the creature control is kind of cool because you might think it has a problem and that it doesn't have a proper board wipe, but what you have instead is the pale star and then lots of things that do 1 or 2 damage. So
Mhm.
you pale star, everything becomes 1, and then you can hit a pain reaction, geometric charges, a standardized testing, which would obviously then kill everything at 1 power.
Positron Bolt kills 3 things. Yeah, you've got
Positron
like
Bolt.
with like as you said with charge, pain reaction, Positron Bolt. You've got there 4 cards that normally would be a bit meh that suddenly you can kill 3 creatures out of nowhere.
And that's pretty handy.
The only deck that doesn't really have that is the Saurian. Doesn't really have any removal in that, so
Does
can get in a
not.
sticky situation where Saurian might be something quite hard to play if your opponent has a big board.
Yeah. And final thing is the sort of finishing combo, which I'll hesitate to reveal, but we'll do anyway out of respect for you, the audience, and making entertaining content, which is kind of the secret trick of this deck, which is the Obsidian Forge. It's good in of itself with 20 creatures.
And with I
potentially
think 7
more.
in Dis as well.
Quite a few. But also with the animator, you can do it on a Logos turn.
Can indeed. And yeah, you've got some nice cards like Bot Bookton, which can get additional creatures out if you're using that to reap in that turn too. And also a few just kind of good ways of getting pips as well. Yeah, this deck has a really, really good rate of being able to pull off an Obsidian Forge out of nowhere and really shocking the opponent.
Yeah, so that'll generally how it finishes. Along with the sins, which we didn't really talk about that much, but in of themselves do a bunch of ridiculous
They do,
nonsense.
yeah. You got some, I think probably 3 of the best sins. Wrath. I think I've actually come round to Wrath a lot more than I did previously when looking at the sins, where I kind of thought this was the worst of the 3. But that Taunt, Poison, Skirmish, 3 power 3 armor is really nice and really hard to get round.
Yeah, the taunt makes the other ones so much better because the other
Mm-hmm.
ones is sort of must kill quickly, and he's like, cool, I'm just gonna whack it behind this quite hard to kill creature.
Yeah, but like Pride, Reap, Ward each friendly sin creature, Greed, Draw, and Gluttony. Obviously, that massive effect that you really have to deal with, especially in decks like this.
So, what do we think gets banned here?
So I think for Vince, probably Sasha. I think that has such a potential just to go off, and it's kind of got that kind of like that legacy, that history around it that people know that you can get games with Sasha where like they get Ganganor early, they get Key Abduction, Mars Generosity off, and you just can't do
Yeah. Also,
anything to stop
even
it.
if you haven't heard of it, right? You see those things in the deck, you just sort of go, yeah, no, I don't want to have to deal with this.
Hmm.
It's just you have a chance of just auto losing
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
without anything you can really do about it. And I think for that reason, I would probably ban the AOA deck if I were Vince as well.
Hmm.
I think there is a very strong combo in it, which you can get almost out of nowhere, which will give you free keys and could give you 1 or 2 or 3 keys out of nowhere. And
Hmm.
I think you have decks that play a longer game, decks like Abra that is really good at taking people off check, but won't work if your keys are for free.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that the decision is harder
It's
for
definitely
Canessa.
trickier.
I think I'd maybe, if I was Vince, actually be banning Gargoyle, possibly. I think, you've got the worry that this is a similar deck that can just go off. And I think actually in Vince's deck you've got quite good ways of stopping Sigrid going off too. You've got a lot of things that can control the board, that can kind of like just kind of slow that down, stop, say, for example, your Ganganort turns going off, and kind of like just really control Sigrid's Ember really well. So I think I'd maybe ban Gargoyle instead. I think just like that massive amount of speed can be really troublesome, especially against the kind of decks that Vince is playing, which aren't necessarily the fastest decks, and might not be able to respond to such speed.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Guess we will indeed. Okay. Oh yeah, final prediction. Who's going to win this matchup?
I don't know. I will put a slightly biased bet on Vince.
Yeah, I was going to join you there. Vince is our boy, as to say, from the UK scene. So I think we've got to go with Vince. But my thing,
PMCanessa has also seemed perfectly nice.
oh yeah,
But,
delightful gentleman too. But
Might be that I've lost to a bunch of the decks that Vince is playing, whereas
Yeah.
I haven't lost to the ones that Canessa was playing.
I've recently lost to PMCanessa's deck, so I think he's a rogue and a vagabond, and I hope Vince defeats him.
Well, let's find out.
Okay, on to the game. Hi there, welcome to the game portion of the episode. We have VinceT UK on the top of the screen playing Ozobliva Abra Zigori, and we have PMCanessa on the bottom of the screen playing Jessamine Dente d'Oro La Drammatica.
Which is going to call Jessamine or Goldtooth, depending on which I remember at any given point.
So Truciate's Abra on top of the screen, Goldtooth on the bottom of the screen, and we are awaiting the beginning of the game. We see a mulligan from Vince, but no mulligan from PMCanessa. Got to be happy with this hand, and we see logos straight off the bat. An Edai to archive.
Pretty strong start.
First turn draw. Never going to be mad about it. Pretty nice. And then what is Vince going to do in response? Obviously, a slow deck from Vince, so mulliganing generally not a good sign here, I'd say.
Well, not necessarily a bad sign, just a sign that you kind of like have stuff in your opening hand that you probably need more later, like a doorstep or a drumble.
True. And we see the Snudge and the Dust Imp and the Ember Imp as well.
Nice.
Good hand to mulligan into there. Could be really slowing down PMCanessa potentially.
Very good, yeah. Because if you can't deal with this Ember Imp, then you're just going to have Snudge put stuff back in your hand as well.
Yeah.
But they're going to go Logos and presumably just fight that straight off the board.
And not got the greatest spot removal. Only really got Twin Bolt in Logos that could get rid of that Ember Imp too. So
and there it is.
But maybe may have not wanted to take that Logos turn straight away. But actually, no. Seems like he's probably quite happy taking that Logos turn. In fact, there.
Yeah, given he also has the information exchange. A nice trick where he killed the Dust Imp to then steal one.
Indeed, it was.
Exchange.
Yeah, and also getting.
And we have Mimic Gel for the Edai.
Do indeed, yeah.
Be interesting to see how much this deck pursues like a heavy Edai strategy.
I think it'll be pretty circumstantial, really. I think what it'll be is a lot of time it'll be early game while you're getting your like golden spirals out, while you're like maybe kind of like building up a hand like an archive of some Saurians. If it's anything like the deck that I play that's similar to this, he will 100% be archiving almost exclusively Saurians here, ready for a big Saurian turn down the line.
Some sort of tribute exile here, and a decent untamed turn from PMCanessa. Double Mustic Mermaid taking out Snudge and Jay with the Bureaucrat.
Yeah, and increasing
with the cheeky Ghost Talk. Cheeky Ghost Talk too.
Yeah, and critically, another thing I think about here as well is that you might see stuff like the Golden Swirl being used on these Mustic Mermooks too. Really good one to kind of like put to your opponent's side of the board and then destroy, kind of reducing the key cost for you as well as getting you a whole bunch of Ember.
Could be potentially useful. So a rougher start for Vince, I think.
I think so, but you know, he's getting rid of some kind of like less useful cards, and it feels good to get out. And with a deck with -1 speed, having, you know, kind of now 3 turns where you're playing kind of like 3 cards on each of those turns is a pretty decent expectation, to be honest. I don't think he's gonna be too upset about this start.
Yeah, especially as he's getting ready to start the sort of key prevention cycling at some point.
Indeed. So we may see Untamed here from Canessa, just get some Reaps out, play some cards, or we may see Logos in. I'm surprised to see Saurian this early unless we're getting stuff like Golden Spirals out. No artifact control from Vince though, so once they are on the board, they are staying there.
Saurian does not pick up the archives, so we'll see if he has some sort of tribute exile combo.
Puts the Scootum on, which is very nice. And plays 1 Golden Spiral. Does he have the second, or will we just see the 1?
Doing a think here. So it's perhaps wondering whether to hold on to some combo pieces.
I think so, yeah. I guess maybe also looking at Vince's deck, seeing like what kind of and hits the Mermook to get him onto check. Very smart play.
Yeah, because he kills it with a story about that, which gives him 1 and puts him on check at 7.
Yep, but only going to drop to 5 because of that Succubus, which I think he's actually going to have a tough time getting rid of, really.
Now that the Mamooks have come down. And there's doorstep number 1.
Yep, there we go. And Vince getting up to 5 with it as well. We see the Seki come down. I think maybe that Mimic Gel that's increasing Vince's key cost could be going the way of the Dodo here and being destroyed. Whereas I think Vince may be happy to leave that Mustic Mamook on the board. Increasing key cost to 7 is actually really beneficial for Vince's deck.
Yeah, with the drum ball.
And I think that it's maybe like not a misplay, I would say, from Canessa, but was an interesting play is that these Momooks do play into Vince's hand a bit. So kind of getting them early is probably like beneficial. You don't want these coming in later where you have to like kind of like set yourself back. It's much easier to do with these Momooks kind of like earlier in the game where you're getting the maximum benefit.
I can see why he put them down though, because obviously he took out a Snudge and a Jehu the Bureaucrat that were both behind Taunt, and that either of those could have become a problem quite quickly.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if you don't want him getting 2 Ember every time he calls Sanctum. That's a lot.
You do not know. So PMCanessa here, he is. I'm going to think about this. What house would he choose? And we haven't seen Logos in a little while now, so maybe that kind of like drawing past that. But we know we do see the Saurian coming down.
Picks up the Archives. I've got to think that now we're going to get a Tribute Exile.
I got to think so, yeah, especially with that. Well, Tribute Exile isn't great because that Raptor does have the Imperial Scutum on it, though.
But he can do it onto the Mamook.
He can indeed, that's true.
But is...
It's just fighting down that set quest.
Stuff.
Doing a bit of biff. Always happy to see. But doesn't really have a good way of dealing with that Succubus. And I think that is really kind of like limiting his plays here. Good of the Many, I suppose, could be coming down, actually. That may be what we're seeing. A Good of the Many would clear Vince's entire board, and it does.
Exile, no Tribute. So I think perhaps picked up the Exile from the Archives. Doesn't have the Tribute, but you do have another Exile floating around in the deck, so you can still hit that later.
Yep, and we do see PMCanessa is at 7 again, back on check. We are going to see the Shadows.
Probably going to be able to solve that pretty easily.
In the Shadows, you'd be surprised. I mean, double Nerve Blast, and he's going to hit Relentless Whispers. So, but I don't know if he can. I think he's going to be stuck on 6 here because Nerve Blast needs to hit. He does play the Nexus if he hits his own Nexus with a Nerve Blast. But no, he's going to get this key. First key goes to Canessa.
And that's pretty big in this against Abra, where you're trying to stop keys as much as possible.
Indeed, it is, yeah. Now, are we going to see the Tribute come down here? No, we are playing Logos, obviously, so we're not going to see that. The Philophosaurus confused me briefly. And we are going to see...
decent wild wormhole hit. I think you're very happy.
Yeah, and we are going to see, though, Canessa's first key immediately returned by Vince, and he getting a key as well.
And it feels like it's going to be one of those games where both decks have a lot of answers in, and so there'll be a point where they both just kind of run out, and there's a possible cascade of keys happening.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a back and forth for key 1, and then they both just get it about the same time. Shadow's turn, so we will see if he uses the Hologramophone or the Golden Spiral with the Nexus.
Yeah, we also are probably going to see that Seeker Needle hitting that Babbling Bibliophile here as well.
I think we are probably.
I mean, you could do both if you wanted. You could use the Golden Spiral and then reap again with Nexus to use the Hologramophone if you really wanted.
Or perhaps Golden Spiral the Moon Cursor.
I think that's more likely to get yourself on a cheeky check, and we are going to see that.
And you get rid of the Philophosaurus, which could be a big problem.
You could have, if you wanted to be risky, you could have just kind of like, oh no, because it does exhaust the artifact with the Nexus.
So very quick, straight back to check from Vince.
Yeah.
Good Shadow's turn. 3 or 4 cards doing it, and this is a problem for Canessa.
Yeah, and that Tribute is going to be difficult to get off now because you've only got the Theros Centurion left. That's your only Saurian creature.
It is, yes. It's very light on the Saurian creatures.
Yeah, and you also use your Good of the Many and your Sauri about that too. So really hard that if you do then decide to say hit that, you then have a really hard time getting it destroyed once you've done it too.
Yeah, he's going for Untamed, which with both Murmuks gone means Vince is going to get this key for 6.
He's going to get that second key. I think PMNS could be in a bit of trouble here. I think like maybe his deck hasn't really come in the right order, but not being able to get that big Saurian turn off with the Tributes, with the Exiles, really getting that benefit from it has put him in a difficult situation.
And it feels like Vince still has a lot of answers left in the deck that we haven't seen from Abra.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a Drumble. We haven't seen either Arise. There's still a Doorstep. There's still a Miasma. I'm going to have a pretty decent Shadows turn here because he will use one of those artifacts, possibly using Moon Cursor twice with the Golden Spiral.
Potentially, yeah.
Although they're both elusive now, so maybe not.
I mean, yeah, probably not because there's nothing to steal either.
Yeah, so just going to ward the Moon Cursor.
Very
Also
sensible.
pretty good.
With the poison as well means you're just guaranteed to have to fight 2 things into that unless you're going to be using some kind of removal, which we've already said PMCanessa doesn't have massive amounts of.
Well, the removal's decent, but it's like it's not great spot removal. The spot removal is gone right now. You're looking at double and natural selection, and Abra's just not putting out many creatures right now.
Yeah, and I think Vince is just going to be happy to stick around on 2 or 3 creatures at this point and just go, if you want to exile me something, you can't destroy it. I'm just going to leave it on my board forever, basically.
Tosses the evasion sigil so he can Moon Cursor stuff. We're just going to see some logo cycling.
You see the
Information exchange. Nice.
Archiving from the E-die here. Archives to 3, gets that key cost to 9. I'd be surprised though if we didn't see that Moon Cursor put the boots to E-die here.
Sneaky, spiky poison boots. Shadows again, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, we're going to see that E-die being hit, which we do. Seeker Needle to the Harmonia. And I imagine Nexus, just to warp the Nexus. If there's any other shadows in hand, would be pretty nice.
Could spiral and use something again.
Could do, yeah, but you're not going to be able to... You maybe steal that last one by fighting the Mamook.
What is Reap?
Yeah, Reap and then use the Hologramophone. Yeah, true, get yourself an extra Ember.
This is brutal if you're Canessa. You've got these 2 great artifacts and you're just not getting them.
It also just stops PMCanessa using them as well, is the bigger thing. You know, they can't use that Hologramophone, can't use that Golden Spiral next turn.
So, almost nothing left in the deck for PMCanessa now. So I think we know the Tribute Exile is coming next turn almost certainly. We're going to get a nice Flaxia hit. That's it.
I think
still 1 card left. Could not be there.
I think PMCanessa is a bit stuck here, really. Like, I think even if you do Tribute Exile here, you've just not got great ways of getting rid of whatever you do that with.
Possibly not, no.
And Vince still got, like we said, many answers left in this deck.
Yeah, but you can just keep going shadows. Like, these shadow turns are very good.
Yeah. You know, to steal with the Moon Cursor, get rid of that Flaxia. Seeker Needle on that Harmonia.
It might just take the same turn.
I think he might, yeah. It just doesn't... Presumably he's got a nice grip full of answers, like those doorsteps, like that kind of thing, and it's just happy just to kind of sit on those and go, you've got no way of getting rid of these creatures. I'm just going to leave them here. Keep them warded.
Can take both of those artifacts off you.
Yeah, and it's relatively safe to keep exalting them as well, because if PMCanessa gets his Ember, presumably Vince has got a Rumble, a doorstep, something in hand just to take that off.
Okay, Archives coming out.
Thero Centurion here. Okay, so you got to assume we're going to see the tribute onto the Thero.
Unless he's been incredibly unlucky and it's the 1 card, but there it is. Okay.
The exile. But, and Chant of Hubris to move 1 onto that Thero, but doesn't have a way of destroying it at the moment.
Discards the Golden Spiral as well. Just has had enough of this Nexus shenanigans.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to be able to reap 3 times in a turn with a Nexus.
I'm absolutely not questioning it. It seems the correct call, but that's got to feel real bad.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy about that at all.
So, back to check.
He is.
9 Ember sitting on your opponent's side of the board and no way to get rid of it. So what's Vince got now? This is potentially a window for PMCanessa to get back into this.
I mean, Vince potentially could just keep doing what he's been doing, is the thing here. You know, you can use that Moon Cursor twice in a turn because of that Nexus. You can steal 2.
Unless he's got something else.
You can hit that Harmonia with a Seeker Needle. You can get to check here, I'm pretty sure.
Fights with the Nexus.
No. Reap with the Nexus.
And then fight with the Centurion?
Fight with the Moon Cursor to hit the Imprinted Mamook, then Seeker Needle the Harmonia. And you get to check. And stop your opponent being on check.
Yep, fair enough. That'll do it.
Yeah. It's pretty swish. I think that might be it for PMCanessa unless he's drawn around to an E-die, luckily. That is GG from PMCanessa.
And an unusual game in that we don't really see the Shadows board taking over the game very often. No. But combination of Moon Cursor and after some sort of early back and forth, combination of Moon Cursor and Nexus with a bunch of tasty artifacts on the other side, just kind of ran away with it. No responses.
I think just intelligent play from Vince as well, to be honest, realizing if he Tribute Exiles me and I only have 2 creatures on the board, he can't really do anything about it. And yeah, that was just strong play. Keep great artifacts to use with the Nexus.
Acknowledging the chat that was a nice Nexus setup. Yeah, that's possibly the best Nexus's best day in some time.
Yeah. Okay, well, we shall leave this game and we'll join you in the second game.
Alrighty.
Hi everyone, welcome to the second game. Once again, we have VinceT on the top, this time playing the Lord of Hyperberg.
And on the bottom, we have PMCanessa playing Jessamine Goldtooth.
Yep.
The dramatic.
So stuck with the same deck then, didn't switch?
Not a switcher.
Not a switcher.
So we'll see if we can get a better run of the draw this time, and we'll see what Hyperberg can do.
I mean, I don't think he got a terrible run of the draw, to be honest. I think it was more the matchup maybe wasn't ideal for him.
The Nexus shenanigans were unfortunate.
They were, that's true. But it's something I didn't really pick up on the deck chat. But, you know, only having 3 creatures in this Saurian deck, I think, is really limiting if you do want to pull off that Tribute Exile kind of reliably. You know, it's not a very creature heavy deck generally either, by the looks of it. You know, you got a fair bit in Untamed, but they're not creatures that are that easy to keep on the board.
And Vince getting the animator very early here, so could have some problems due to these golden spirals again.
Definitely could, yeah. And we are going to see the Untamed early on, though. Playing the Ghost Hawk on an Untamed turn with nothing else on the board. Never going to be thrilled to see that. But Vince is going to go back to the logos. Going to fight the Rustnor. Doesn't want that killing his animator. Very sensible. Whips down a Kronos. Plays the Daughter. Puts damage on the Harmonia.
You know, I've just noticed about Kronos. It's like the same basic setup as Research Smoko.
Yeah.
It's like a big eye in a frame with some spider legs.
Yeah, I thought that was intentional.
I mean, I assume it is. I've just never noticed before.
Not really, no. I sort of, yeah.
Everyone should look at the art in Keyforge much more than I do. It's really nice, and they put a lot of effort in, and just does not get. I never appreciate it on TCO.
Yeah, the art in Keyforge, because I do like a lot of it. There's some that I'm like less of a fan of, but like generally Mars art I don't like. But most of like the art, it's one of those weird things where once you play the set for a bit, it just becomes like shapes that mean a certain thing.
Interestingly, PMCanessa playing the good of the many, taking out a bunch of his own creatures. And only the Kronos from Vince's side, so clearly very much wanted rid of that.
Yeah, and also that is kind of removes one more thing as well to be able to kind of like pull off that Tribute Exile combination too. You know, only really got the story about that allows you to kind of do that destroy a creature once you've exiled
it.
Yeah,
I assume you'll have much more of a chance to hit it with the unnatural selection in this matchup. Hyperberg is big boards.
True, much more creature heavy, that's very true. And we are going to see the E-Die come down to do a bit of archiving. And an archive of 3 here. Pretty hefty, because I can't look at what the archive is. I'm just going to look at the card backs here and wonder.
What could it be?
I've got to assume a lot of it is Saurian, though. I've got to think that's what you generally want to build up to.
And this is what we saw in the previous game. The Saurians are going in the archives, the Tribute Exile pieces. Very nice butch and hit from Vince. Is going to hit the Infernus.
Ooh, what would you hit with the Infernus here? Let's have a look. And I think definitely that Good of the Many would be high on my hit list. And then maybe the Tata Vapors as well. Oh, actually no, Harmonia.
Yeah, I would say I'd say Harmonia.
It goes for both the Tata Vapors, wants to slow down.
Hits the speed. Fair enough.
It just does with the second Infernus in the deck too. And I suppose that makes it less likely you're going to be able to like draw back around to those useful cards.
Yeah, Good of the Many as well. You have a lot of creatures that match up with other creature types. So like a lot of scientists, a lot of demons.
You do, yeah.
And Vince just got some speed of his own. Same from Canessa.
True, and I suppose you have both Logos and Saurian as well, which means Good as Many's hard to pull off because you are more likely to have a creature matching PMCanessa, like you just said, yeah.
Yeah. plays one of the unnatural selections here, so that's one of the big board wipes over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta think Vince is wishing he now had the Infernus.
Yeah, definitely. But does have a second one. Could be playing it here.
Does pick up the second Infernus. Pick up his archives.
Will he have it? Pain reaction. Gets rid of that Harmonia. Got to be happy about that. Harmonia, a very tricky card at times.
Okay, what else have we got?
We're going to see the Maleficorn, and I think that damage is going to go with the Mustic Murmic. I got to think maybe has another damage icon to get rid of that Edie. I think that would be preferable thing to hit. Just
or
fights
just a
it.
fight will also do it.
Just gives a bit of a biff. And what else does he have in that there hand of his? He has a Gluttony. We are starting to see some of the sins come down here. Has a Wrath, gets it behind the ward.
And I think chooses this as the time to pick out the archives, because one of the natural selections have just gone. So unless he has the other one right now, he's going to have a lot of problems removing these sins. And therefore the Gluttony is probably going to get a decent chance to go off.
This is very true, yeah. Also, maybe he kind of has that something like Saurian in hand, like a CSI, so can potentially get something big off of that. We are going to see logos being played.
Not going to be a response there. We'll copy the Infernus to take Vince off check.
And hits the Eclectic Inquiry and the Pain Reaction. Pain Reaction, very good combo with Pale Star, so I think very sensible move to hit there. But that was it, though.
So the Gluttony sticks on the board, but not a huge amount of captured Amber yet.
No, not yet. And if it's getting that Ember back from that Infernus too.
Said Amber there for some reason. What is this? Some sort of dinosaur-related Jurassic thing?
And does Reap with the Gluttony. Just get that one. Fights the Infernus off the board with the Wrath. Reaps the Maleficorn. Plays the Pride as well. This board is getting ugly here. If PMCanessa doesn't draw that natural selection soon, he could be in real trouble.
Because if he's going to start warding these sins every turn, he's going to have a bad time.
He definitely will. And PMCanessa thinking a bit. Maybe he has it in his archive? Gotta hope so for his sake.
Still 13 cards left in the deck, so it could just be missing an action.
It could indeed be. And you've got to think that if it is, this could be the point where Vince really gets the hooks in and just starts turning that screw as well. Because if you can get all of those cards, does hit it. What do you hit though here? I mean, I think the Gluttony and the Pride, I'd imagine.
Yep.
No, doesn't.
But it's got Murmook.
Has to Murmook to kill that Pride, leaving the Gluttony on the board though. It's a bold move, Con. Let's see if it pays off.
No Ember on the board currently. So he's got some time to take it out, and it's going to be easier now. It's not behind Torn. Doesn't mean Vince gets first key for 7.
It does. I would be concerned here that you've got still like a lot of Saurian that we haven't seen at all yet, and a CSI here with a lot of Ember in your pool. If he's got a Ludo, that can make a really hard decision between like, well, do I kill this Gluttony? Do I kill this Ludo? You probably kill the Gluttony. But that means you're probably not getting that Ember back. And we are going to start to see these Saurians come out here.
Yeah, and you could have left the Wrath. The Wrath doesn't do a huge amount.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. I mean, I suppose having that Torn and getting stuff like a Ludo behind it could be a bit troublesome. But, yeah.
Have the CSI here?
I've got to think he does. He does,
indeed. So that Gluttony now... again, must die immediately.
Really must, yeah.
And I don't think you've got many good ways of doing it.
Doesn't have the Ludo, though, so could do some stuff like killing that Citizen Shrix, minimizing its impact. But we've seen, I think, all of the board clears are gone for Canessa here now. We've seen both the natural selections. We've seen the good of the many.
Both Mustic Mamooks have come down.
They have indeed,
So I think that Gluttony's going to have... possibly stick unless he just takes an Untamed turn and fights it off the board.
Yeah, but having already seen, I think I've already seen an Untamed turn previously, and a not great Untamed turn at that. Just playing the unnatural selection and the Mustic Murmook. I've got to think not got a great follow up here.
Saurian. Sorry about that. Yep. Very good. Gives Vince an Ember. Fully worth it.
Yeah, but you still got the threat of that Ludo coming down for these Saurians. Okay. both Golden Spirals and the Legatus Raptor here. We haven't seen either Exile come down yet, I don't believe.
Or the tribute. So potentially for a massive tribute exile.
Definitely, I mean, you could hit that Citizen Tricks, get the fight off, hit, say, Consul Primus with the Mustic Murmook, and then just reap twice with that Legatus Raptor and that Golden Spiral and have a lot of Ember stacked on top of it.
What does Vince do here? Possible Saurian turn?
Possibly,
I think.
yeah. I think
Logos.
fighting that Legatus Raptor with the Cornus and Octavia could be a strong shout.
He's gonna go Logos
with the threat of that Exile Golden Spiral turn, but yeah, he's going Logos.
So I think we're now going to see some artifacts get taken out with the animator.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we use that Golden Spiral.
Becomes a 3-power creature.
Does indeed. And just limiting like how much that Legatus Raptor can be used as well. And I think, yeah, going for a Positron Bolt too.
Very nice.
So, yeah, and that's really good because that means you've turned off the Legatus Raptor because it can't. Oh no, it's still got that armor, so it could fight into like the Primus or the Shrix, but you just make it much harder to use.
Might Pale Star?
And does Pale Star as well, clearing the whole board. Place a Dinobot. Presumably not gonna exalt here. She does not, and the bot booked in. Now, pain reaction, yeah, is enemy creatures as well. So hits the Perfectus Ludo as well.
Off the Bookton, that is real big, and it's looking like bad times for PMCanessa.
Yeah, bad times at Bridgemont High for PMCanessa, as you gotta think Vince is like rubbing his hands together at that pull there.
Bad times at Ridgemont High, the Keyforge teen drama set in the Los Angeles section of the Crucible.
Yeah, those damn Shadows kids always smoking around the back of the bike sheds.
Look, I haven't read the RPG lore book. Maybe this is all very accurate.
I don't know. I feel like if anyone's going to be smoking around the back of the bike sheds, it's Shadows.
Also, if you are a copyright lawyer listening to this, please don't sue us. So, yes, some logos from
PMCanessa. He's a lawyer. He can deal with it.
Wild Wormholes into the Scutum.
Oh, no. Calamity for PMCanessa. And we see an ouch.
Hurts to see.
Yep. See an ouch. The English spelling of ouch from VinceT, not the German spelling.
Sometimes the RNG is just not with you on a given day.
I mean, partly the RNG here, but I also think that this, and I don't like to say misplay, I think this is a slight misplay from PMCanessa. If you're using effects like Will Wormholes, like Bob Bucktons, you've got upgrades in your deck, you want either cards, play something like a Titan Guardian first. You've not got any cards in this deck that the Titan Guardian is going to be hit by doing this with, and you just kind of prevent stuff like this happening. I think that is a slight misplay from PMCanessa that's not great. I think it's something we can all do, but I think, yeah, putting out a creature first would have been...
Still pretty unfortunate.
Is it, though? I mean, you want Wormhole with not that many cards left in the deck at that point, right?
I still feel bad for the guy.
I feel bad for the guy, but I think this was a preventable thing.
Possibly so. Vince, just going to go Saurian now.
Mm-hmm.
A number of good options. Kind of want to get rid of the Edi. Ludo number 2.
The second Ludo down, yeah. And I think, yeah, options for days, really. I think probably like Primus to maybe move an Ember onto that Titan Guardian or into that Edi. Heading into Content, actually.
And it's looking very good for Vince. He's going to fight some stuff, I think, to get rid of the Ember off the creatures with Ludo.
I think, fight, Titan Guardian. Maybe even fight the Edi with that Citizen Shrix, I could see. Wanted just going to get the Ember off it, get him back, but not fights it with the Ludo instead. Going to reap with the Shrix. I suppose, again, just not much board clear in Canessa's future at this point, so Vince feels relatively safe.
He's going to manage to...
Oh, and has the Humble as well, so he just plays that for the Ember. Doesn't even want to take the Ember off his creature, because, no, I'm fine. I'll just have an Ember off of this Humble.
Okay, so Canessa is going to get to the reshuffle before Vince can Infernus the unnatural selections. So, maybe a way back into this. But it is looking real bad.
It is looking rough here. And I think even with the unnatural selections here, though, like, what do? You know, if you kill these creatures, you are gonna have to either leave a creature with a lot of ember on it and hope you can get rid of it next turn, or you're just gonna have to accept you're losing that ember and kill those Ludos. It's a bit of a rock and a hard place, I think.
Hmm.
And we do see the Saurians come down though,
Picks up his archive, so I think is going to tribute exile.
and Golden Spiral is soon to hit a Ludo here.
Ludo. There's two of them. This is the thing.
Yeah, I think you hit the
Oh, no, it's because of the Shrix wants to stop the stealing. Tributes.
exile.
There's the exile. You've
And
got to
this,
think Vince is going to be able to just run that into something with two Ludos on the board pretty
yeah,
soon.
I mean, this is the problem when you're playing against another Saurian player is that Vince can use that they're a Centurion. You know, he can fight things with it if he wants.
And did not reshuffle because he picked up a bunch of archives.
Yeah,
So if Vince can infernus some things now.
which I mean, I think it's likely because we only see 3 cards left in the deck, and you know you also have double Bob Bookton, so even if you don't have it in hand, there's a decent chance you'll be able to hit it off of those if you go for a Logos turn.
Yeah, I think Hyperberg plays a long game, so you want to see a turn where they drop the Obsidian Forge, purge some key things. I could see you just purging 2 board wipes,
Yeah,
but we are going to get Logos.
even if that Thera Centurion, you know, not getting the benefit you usually get from a Tribute Exile, you've still functionally taken 4 Ember from Vince there, which
Oh yeah, it's not like it's bad.
no, not at all.
Does not hit an Infernus off the Bookchins, but does get the Obsidian Forge down,
Gotta be happy with that.
which kind of puts a ticking clock on the game.
And Reaps with the Dino Bot. What will he discard here, if anything?
Break key, yeah, because you're running easily out in
Yeah.
front.
And yeah, you that break is going to be 1 Ember for you at this point. So gotta
Also,
have the Infernus in hand then. Oh no, maybe just drew it actually.
yeah. Also, the thing is, with sloppy lab work now, you're looking at a very strong Obsidian Forge potential next turn.
You are indeed, yeah. I mean, this could be,
And
yeah.
I don't think there's anything PMCanessa can do to stop that, really.
Yeah, and having watched this deck on numerous occasions and been beaten by this deck on numerous occasions, in fact, you know that what tends to happen here is you see a lot of disc creatures played down, and that Obsidian Forge goes off. Also, could do on a Logos turn, as well as we've said before. We are going to see that Monument to Primus being used for a cheeky Reap as well. As Vince goes to 10. I can't think how PMCanessa is going to pull out of this dive here.
No, both Edis are gone. Unnatural selections are in the discard.
Yeah, I've got to think that Vince just...
Oof,
Vince,
yeah,
I think, is what got the win here. I think he Reaps with 3 Logos creatures.
And then animators. Yeah, it's got a couple of different solutions, I think.
PMCanessa wanted to concede.
Yeah, I've done that. I mean, I've done that accidentally several times before, and I think knows clearly enough that the Obsidian Forge is coming.
Yeah. No, I think that was unfortunate from PMCanessa. It feels like both games with this deck didn't quite get the cards in the right order to kind of be pulling off those big Ember moves, and especially against the Saurian deck, this deck is always going to be a lot weaker just because it's hard to kind of like with 2 Ludos, it's hard to get the full benefit, and we saw PMCanessa just not quite being able to do that.
Yeah, just not quite there, and the board control like not coming through at the right time either.
No, getting a lot of it really early, which was a big problem for that deck. You know, you kind of needed it much later.
Absolutely. Some assessment and chat between the 2 players now.
Yeah, I think we'll leave these guys to it, and what we'll do is we'll take you to a sealed game as well for us to talk a bit about it because there's only been 2 games here. Welcome to the sealed portion of the episode. As has been said before, this is just for us to kind of give the illusion of a 3rd game in case you were watching the 2nd game and thought there could have been some heroic fight back from PMCanessa. But yeah, we're just going to play a bit of sealed, chat about the game, and kind of our thoughts on it. You know, this won't kind of like contain any new information, so if you want to stop watching here, feel free. If you want to continue to listen to us, also feel free.
If you want to watch us play some sealed, we are going to do that.
We are indeed. And, oh boy, I think I'm going to keep this hand.
I think I will keep that too.
Well, you do that then. And I'm going to play a Sigil of Brotherhood.
Ah, rats. Okay, well, screw you then.
It's a bit of a harsh reaction to that. Oh, okay. See, I was like, okay, I'm sorry. But it's like
Yeah,
Brotherhood.
I really wanted you to not gain any amber.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. We're going to go for a little bit of a dis turn. I think we're going to do a nice Life Ward.
So it's some
A
coda
nice
then.
Ember. A nice Charette. And a nice Succubus.
Well, screw all that jazz.
I just like them potatoes, friend.
I do not like them apples.
No, I think it's.
So
I'm pretty sure it's potatoes.
Gonna kill all these things. That's what I'm
No,
gonna
my
do.
things. Leave them alone. What have they done to you? Nothing. That's what. Nothing. Sorry, guys. Oh,
You can keep the charette.
the mean Mr. Callum wants to kill you all.
Feels like that's wildly unnecessary.
We'll do a bit of Sanctum.
Sanctum, you say?
Sanctum, I do say. What are you
Shreds, you say?
Shreds. Okay.
Saving the life ward, which is concerning to me.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind you playing some
yeah.
creatures if you want. It's all right. That's all right. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Ooh, those look some nice artifacts you got there, Callum. Be a shame if something happened to them.
What? Oh, that is kind of disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. That felt bad. That felt real bad. I did not enjoy that. Did not enjoy.
We'll hit that, and we'll hit that. No, we won't hit that. We'll hit that.
Oof, that felt bad.
Good. I'm glad.
This is going very poorly.
Now we'll use the life ward.
Sure. Okay.
No creatures for you.
It's a good job you did that before the I put the safe place down.
Yeah, that would have been unpleasant.
That would have been much funnier.
It would have been, yeah. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's dope. Okay, let's do that.
Spoilers for anyone watching the rest of the game. I'm now just going to spend all the game just getting beaten up off the board. And there's nothing I can, absolutely nothing I can do about it.
That's what I like to hear. And do a biff. Good lad.
Absolutely nothing I can do about it at all. Well, at least gonna steal one from you.
How dare you? Give it back. Give it back. You mind buff my mind buff.
Let's try. Let's. What did you just play?
What did I just play?
A Sanctum.
I did.
Let's make you do that again.
Okay.
That seems like the house least likely to have Ember control out of Sanctum, Dis, and Shadows.
Sanctum's got some stuff.
It does, yeah, which is what's concerning me.
Sadly, not in this case, though. Have a key, friend.
Thanks, man. I do feel like I earned it.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay. I miscounted that. Oh, well. Or did I? Oh, rude.
Probably wasn't worth it. You only lost one Ember.
Maybe not. No, leave my things alone, you hussy.
No, I have to do things. I have to like try and use cards to generate Ember and kill creatures.
I don't think you have to do things at all. I think that's lies and slander.
No, it's actually a very accurate description of the game of Keyforge.
No,
obviously, now that we're playing each other, our like friendly camaraderie is fully gone.
Yeah, I hate you and everything you stand for.
Okay, well, that's going to be a big no on all of that. So,
okay, fair. Meh.
I think I just discard all of these things.
Ooh. Okay. Oh yeah.
I don't want to give you.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't want to give you 2 free Dodger fights and then a Seeker Needle on my bad penny.
Yeah, that seems legit. Yeah, I would also do that.
Like it wasn't exactly the best term, but.
Reapity reap reap. No cards for you.
Yeah.
And discard a fear. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Sure, okay.
Ooh, replicate. I don't see that every day.
There's a reason for that. Watch as it dies instantly.
Whoa, I mean, wouldn't instantly. I don't know.
Probably gonna be in it. Welcome to Sweets for Bomb Sealed, where we learn the importance of board wipes.
I
How if you
think
don't
you
have
should
any,
have even less cards.
even fewer cards. Great. I wasn't really struggling for cards before now.
And Steely McSteelerson. I think 4 is a better number to have. Your hand's looking a little cluttered.
This is actually a problem as well, because if you got to 7, I could do something, but
I did think you may have a Drumble, and I was like, I don't trust this Callum. Well, you already used your Drumble, but you might have an Arise. This is tricky in Kota. Well, it's tricky in every set.
I mean, this still unfortunately has to be the turn. I knew I shouldn't have played that fucking Dexter. I thought about discarding it.
I don't know what Dexter would... Huh?
Because then you'd have an extra Ember.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, good. I was not going to use that anyway.
Suddenly, this turn is much less effective.
I mean, you're still going to play 3 Shoelers?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad turn. It's a decent turn. Actually, yeah, the 3 Shoelers do.
Yeah, that's much better than... What do you want?
I think I just forgot how many Shoelers I had. I was like, "There's like a Schuler, maybe two Shoelers." I was like, "Oh no, there's a whole bunch of Shoelers."
Idiot. All right.
I mean, this board just all dies now is the problem.
I think, does it? You've got
Maybe.
4 5-power creatures.
There are a lot of 5-power creatures all of a sudden.
Oh man, I love you, man. But you're an idiot sometimes.
I'm not. Do you remember last time I did this and I was like, I'm a really bad seal player. I'm a bad seal player.
Yeah.
I worked out last turn that I should wait and discard the Arise. Sorry, an archive the Arise.
Oh god, what do I do here? This is actually difficult.
Those of you who may have been paying attention would have realized that I gave this plan away by discarding the Ember Imp.
Well, no, I thought you might say something better, like Ember Imp can GTFO. I probably should have played this first, but oh well. Meh, that doesn't make a difference.
Okay, so I have to fight stuff off the board now, which is really depressing.
All right, mate.
It's just not a good dis turn, is it?
You could play something else if you wanted.
No, because I have to fight these fucking succubuses, don't I? So I can play cards at some point in the future.
Yeah, that does tend to help, I'm told. Sure.
Those dodgers are...
None of your dodgers on my ship today. No, but my monk. Okay.
Sorry, he's too grey.
Okay. That's kind of annoying. Oh, dope. I can do that. Cool. Let's draw a card first. Oh, that's good.
Makes me so sad.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have used that safe place, really.
Well, I didn't know you had a Gorm of Om, did I?
I think you knew. You knew your heart of hearts.
I didn't, as a matter of fact.
In your heart of hearts, you knew. You knew.
God, the dodgers never fucking stop.
Yeah. Hey, says a man with 3 Shoelers.
Yeah, which is less good. They do nothing.
The Shoelers, they do nothing.
So Shoelers, they do nothing.
And then we're going to do a clever thing here, because then this dodger has armor now, so you can kill the Dexter and steal one.
No.
What a guy.
God fucking damn it.
What a guy.
Boo. Boo, sir.
Boo earns. Boo earns.
I was saying boo earns. Well, you know what?
What? Oh, all right, yeah, I probably should have remembered that.
doesn't. I don't think it helps.
I
It's
mean,
a slight problem.
it's moderately annoying.
Okay, so death to this.
No, my dodge. Leave him alone. What's he ever done to you?
This is so bad. I'm just fighting stuff. It's the fucking worst. It's not. It's just not an
No,
ideal.
leave my Umbra alone. What do you ever do to you?
You know what's a good card? Gateway to Dis.
Here it is, yeah. Oh, Callum. Leave my dodger alive. Come on.
Like, well, I thought. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Right. But we are going to take a. Ooh, what are we going to take that? Oh no, we can do that. That's much better. Cool. Play. Biff. Action. And action. Probably not any artifact control, so we'll put a little one in a safe place. We'll draw a card. How nice. How quaint.
Okay, well, I finally found the thing I was looking for.
Is it Gateway to Dis? Oh, Keatus.
No.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Party.
watch this. This could get immediately snack lifted, but I felt like I had to put this down anyway.
That would be good. Oh, I could actually try. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, no, that's a good shout.
Let's put it this way: if you don't snack lift it immediately, I'm almost certainly going to use it, knowing that the snack lifter is a thing.
That's very fair. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, let's do. Yeah.
Also, I got to make you pay 9 for that key, which seemed like something I had to do.
That's very fair. And I won't use my Zika needles. Yes.
Okay. Are you ready for some hilarious flashy tricks?
No. I always dislike your flashy tricks.
Wait a minute. I'm putting a Radiant Knight back in your hand. Aren't you just going to replay that? But what if there was some form of Imperial Traitor?
Oh.
Oh boy, that's a hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if that's necessarily the one you want to purge, mate, really.
That is... Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I think you kind of have to, though, if you want to forge, but...
Okay. Gonna take a brief moment here to wonder what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I think I do hit that, and I don't like it.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
It will have to do.
Okay.
And this just has to happen. Oh wait, I looked at your whole hand, didn't I? And I saw what you had in it.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised you hit the glorious view. Unless you got a way to get another ember.
Was there a snack lifter in it?
Was there?
No, it wasn't. Was there?
Was there? I don't know. Maybe.
Also, I'm going to do this anyway. I think.
No, cool.
I'd like the opportunity to do this again.
I mean, yeah, but I thought you'd get the Radiant Knight because it stopped you forging a key.
Yeah, I know. I've got a slightly longer term plan that may or may not save me, but probably won't.
Fair play. All right.
Because now I'm going to go Logos and play this library access turn.
Ah, a library access, you say.
And hopefully do something massively wide, which was why I wanted to get rid of the glorious view. Yeah. I was like, well, if I have this big library access turn and then you just play it and gain like 10 Ember, I've lost. I've probably lost anyway, but
I hope so.
There's one card left, so I get to know what that is.
That's nice for you.
It is.
What is it?
Nothing, because I triggered the library access first and drew it, and therefore Wild Wormhole into nothing. So glad I played Keyforge here. Fuck me. That was a giant nothing of a turn. So.
Oh mate. Oh no. Oh no.
I was so mad.
Sorry.
Once again, you see me humiliate myself on stream by not understanding how cards work.
It's just very funny.
It was pretty funny, I'll give you that. You've probably got this game, but let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's as open and shut as you think it is.
Maybe. It's looking like it's probably going in your direction so far.
I think it is, but you know, we could do that. That would be fun. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, that's a good guy to have.
That hurts me so much.
Get biffed. I'm sorry, it's very funny.
It was pretty funny, I'll give you that. It
And
was a hilariously massive
let me
fuck up.
just Shula-proof myself.
You're not currently on check, are you?
No.
No.
Unless you kill that Dextry.
Which I will, but I'm going to steal a bunch of other Riviember as well.
Okay. Bold of you to think so.
I mean, I will.
Bold
For
of you
sure.
to think so.
Just going to give you the skeleton key to enjoy later.
Okay.
Okay, we're coming back. Coming back, people.
Are we?
Well, it's 2 keys apiece. So, like, at the very least, I've lost 3-2 with some dignity.
Hmm. 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 Ah. I mean,
You can tell that we're thinking carefully about this now. It's closer. The badger is decreasing.
yeah. No, it's not worth doing. Discard that. Yes.
The problem is that I'm inevitably going to fuck up and forget that safe place exists and lose the
That's
game
the hope.
because of it. Almost certainly, right?
That's the hope. Right.
Yeah, I think you must have this surely.
I don't
With
know.
that much unsafe, with that much unsafe place,
It's
you insulate yourself from Shulas and Drumbles.
Wait, let me just. You didn't force Q in your previous turn, so alright. Yeah, I mean.
But you're still in check, so that does nothing.
Z-Mask says nothing.
Can play Drumble because you're never going to go at 7 ever again.
No.
To be honest.
I don't like your Shulas. I'd like it to be gone, please.
Not unreasonable.
Ah, nice. Another one? Okay.
There's 2 of them, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Having them both at the same time seemed wildly unhelpful. I think now I lose.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm going to do... Unless you have like a poltergeist that you've been like slow rolling to hell. Which would be, if you do, fair play, because that'd be funny.
I don't. I got nothing. No artifact control in this deck. And I think that's probably it. Because I can skeleton key you for 1, but then it's still not quite enough.
Yeah, just about got there. I've got a Virtuous Works in hand as well, so...
yeah, I mean, it was too much for me to come back. Like, I got too far behind. So it's not my safe place.
No. We both have a safe place. Wahoo!
Oh, God damn it.
20!
Oh, I just redrew the Arise as well.
I don't think it would have helped you, to be honest.
I could have played some. No, you purged the Shula, didn't you?
Yeah, I purged the Shula, and
No,
you
probably not.
You couldn't have taken me off enough Ember with Shulas either at that point.
No,
to
I'd
the safe
get
place.
that. You were probably going to get there eventually. I think I needed to find that key to this way earlier.
Yeah. All right. Well,
you had that massive board for ages.
Yeah, we said we were going to talk about the game. What we actually did was just trade insults at each other.
20 turns.
Go 20 turns. Not even a control the week to speak of either. Just
I played Control the Week.
Wait, are you?
I played it once.
Oh yeah,
that's how I got my first key.
Oh yeah.
It was the only. You could like that was it took me ages to get key 2.
What can I say? But
yeah, you just got 2 strong to start. I couldn't.
Also, the name of my deck is spectacular. It's Orpa. Oh, it's Orpa. Not I thought it was Oprah Tower Duchess, but it's Orpa.
That's less good. Mine is Countess K Sanctihonch.
All right, what's your betting on yours then? What do you think yours is?
I could see this being pretty high. It's got a lot of cool.
Mine is 65
stuff in it.
I had 0 speed.
I would go 70 with mine.
8.3 Ember control.
80? 80?
Yes! I'm the king!
Get out of here!
The king!
That's outrageous.
Sorry,
did I just play that really poorly?
I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to love you and leave you, but thank you very much for listening, everyone.
It's the creature control. The creature control is terrible. It's like key to this, lights out, poison wave, nerve blast, and that's it.
I mean, my creature control is also not great. I have Pawn Sacrifice, Harder They Come, and Tendrils of Pain.
Yeah, we had a bunch of massive guys really early.
Yeah, again, board 76 effective power.
Well, mine's 42. So,
jeez, with like 5 Shulas and a Terror. That's crazy.
It loses 10 for the key to this and 5 for the poison wave.
Makes sense. All right, well, thank you very much for listening. I have been David Baron von Fabulous Lark.
And I've been Callum, the good Dr. Young.
We've been Kuchar Bomb Commentaries. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.